there's like this big idea that with like success also comes like all this willpower and pushing through and this like work and discipline and like all this drag that you have to overcome. But the truth is, if you're really doing something you're really passionate about, if you're really pursuing your purpose, you should, of course, have to like push through barriers and continue that hustle, but it should actually feel effortless. Think of it as like when you were like back in school and you had to finish a paper and it took like all this willpower and all this like energy to finish it. That's how I was with certain subjects, but when it came time to like come home and go to flight school, then I had no problem whatsoever learning because it was something that I was really passionate about. Meteorology and dead reckoning and all these other forms of like complicated navigation was a breeze for me because I loved it. So the key is, if you're currently doing something that sort of feels like a drag, it's not necessarily because it's discipline or willpower, but instead it's because you're probably doing the wrong thing. I mean, don't get me wrong, it is a hustle and it should be a grind. There'll be many unpleasant moments, but it should feel good while you're doing it. There should be like this underlying momentum or charge you feel from the idea of like working in that particular area. Kind of like right now, I'm tired as hell. You know, I just came off like 2 days with no sleep whatsoever, but it charges me to deliver these kind of ideas on camera. You have to do what you enjoy in order to get to above amateur levels. So there's that, but then there's also the idea that you have to have systems in place in order to make things easy. So for me, let's say hypothetically I had to like drive 3 or 4 hours every time I had to do a video like this. I would just never end up doing it. So first there's the purpose, what draws you, what pulls you towards something, and second we have to set up the systems so it's easy to take action. So here I am, coming off 2 days no sleep, and I'm still working because this charges. And if I never decided to be an author and do like this creative work, like this YouTube and online stuff, I'd be working my next level to be a commercial helicopter pilot. It takes a ton of work and a ton of focus to be a commercial helicopter pilot. So your family's going to tell you to do something practical because they don't really want to see you fail. They want to see you thrive and do something that's nice and secure. Absolutely well-meaning. But let's say hypothetically you're going to go out being a lawyer. Well, it takes a lot of work and focus and drive to be a lawyer, kind of like a helicopter pilot. So when it comes to your heart desire, I mean the thing you really want to do, your drive, purpose, and passion, you have to put the same amount of focus and drive as if you would go be a lawyer or be a helicopter pilot. It's not foolhardy to go do this stuff. Just make sure you have the same work ethic, the same focus. Hey, it's Brad, and I'm just running around doing some like errands in my hometown today. I shot a video, and guess what? I have to reshoot it. That's right, there's like all these people staring at me, which is kind of weird in a mall when you're Christmas shopping. And actually, I thought that'd make a cool topic, this idea of like negative cyclical thought patterns, and how a lot of people have a hard time disarming these cyclical thought patterns. So why is this so important as far as business and success and as far as like just moving ahead in life? Well, let's say hypothetically we want to like give a presentation to a particular group of people. And within the audience, we just see 1 or 2 people who may not be, you know, we see in their physiology that they may not be fully sold on exactly what we're saying. Well, I've seen people have like these uncontrollable thoughts of like negative cyclical thought patterns that stop them from forward movement. And they basically, these thought patterns actually stop you from being normal and giving out the right energy. And in addition to that, it comes off a little bit weird to other people, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Now, there are so many people addicted to these negative thought loops and these negative cyclical thought patterns that they actually can have no results whatsoever. And typically, you know, a lot of people, they don't make headway in life, not because there's not opportunity around, but because of their thoughts, and becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. And I think I'm qualified to talk about this because I was stuck in negative thought loops for so many years.
Yeah, we're going to need to light Brad in the face.
For about 20 years of my life, and there's a number of different reasons why. Number one was because I came from a negative household where there was a lot of negativity in it, a lot of kind of crazy stuff going on, and you know, the environment that I came up in, there was a lot of people who were like just like really negative and a lot of crazy stuff. That's where I grew up around. I saw a lot of shit, if you would. And the reason why, because the mind actually builds synaptic pathways, and you get addicted to this quote unquote negative state of mind. And your mind is just going to keep falling back to that default. Chilling out in my hometown and running some errands, and what I want to talk to you about is how to live with masculine energy. Now we're going to go outside the stereotype of things like having a beard or showing off your bicep, and as a thought experiment, or more of an intellectual way of looking at this, is to have you literally forget your sense of identity or your upbringing, or the sense of how you look, how much money you have, how tall you are, your different attributes, the color of your eyes, and rather what I want you to think about is that you are literally a spirit living in a material world, but you're a masculine spirit, okay? There's feminine, there's masculine. And as a masculine spirit, you're made of three things, okay? We're talking grounding, congruence, and also a freedom type thing. And what I mean by that is just being yourself. You're going to do what you want to do. This train's moving, either get on or get off. And you're being yourself. You're free. You can almost think of it as like, how you felt. You can almost think of it as like, when you were a child and you were just kind of like free, and maybe into your teen years, as you got to your 20s. My 20s were the best years of my life because my psychology was right on point. The only problem with my 20s is I didn't have the intellect I have now. I wish I could kind of mend that together. If I had those two together, I think that's the situation for a lot of people.